Rave it, baby.
Everybody has put words in my mouth. Everybody has created a scenario.
Because you won't
that
say the words. You keep doing all
I
these
know you
vague,
want me to say
loose,
the words, but like, dude, no,
these
y'all,
vague,
y'all are
loose.
so
Oh no, y'all
unbelievably,
implying that you
unbelievable.
feel
No,
different.
dude, you got. Listen, y'all have no bullets in your guns to come at me because like I didn't. I'm not. You're saying that I'm saying something that I'm not saying. And I don't know why.
What are you saying?
I'm saying welcome to grave, baby. This is how it starts. This is how it starts. It starts with turmoil. It starts with turbulence, and it just goes downhill from there. You know, it's
I don't know. Sometimes,
like an S shape, like an S shape. You know what I mean?
well, we don't want to give people too much hopium, as I've recently found out that hope is bad as well. So, well, what should we be pushing
Not
then?
opium. Not hope is bad. Then you put more words in my mouth. That's crazy. Y'all create an image of me that's not even real. And then you argue through that image, which isn't anything that I've said or it's so weird. It's so bizarre.
Man, I would hate it if someone on this podcast did that to me. What a terrible feeling it must feel for someone to create an image of me for their own entertainment and then have an argument with that image as if that image is me, a flat two-dimensional character. That must be really tough.
It's fun. It's fun. What do you call it? Tough.
Oh, I'm already tearing up. Okay, but just for the record, because we've talked about Dolly once before, and it was probably over a year ago. We talked about her, and
I
as
think I
everybody who's
got
listening
help.
knows by now, huh?
And I think I'm the one who got help from everybody. Not from you guys, from the fans.
Right.
Why? What do we say? We were talking about the huh?
Go ahead.
We were talking about the album that came out and her and the last conversation I remember having about Dolly, we were talking about the album that came out and everybody was like, she's doing songs with Kid Rock, and everybody was like freaking out that she was like some sort of like traitor or betraying them or something like that. And the argument was, to my recollection, and I will go look this back up, to my recollection was that, no, I'm serious.
I know you're serious. I'm
To my
sorry.
recollection, the argument was like, she doesn't know what the peasants are squabbling about. You know what I mean? That was the argument. It was like,
Yeah.
do not get in your. We took a very Joseph Campbellian view of a mythos, a mythology, and like an iconography, really, and saying that you could use this for the good or you could use this for the bad. I don't understand. I don't think anybody on this podcast has ever been like, she's a class traitor who just decimated her own community. I don't think anybody's ever made that argument.
I have said that other people say it, and then I got a lot of flack for that. And that might be confusing Gravy Baby fans with well-read fans, because let's be honest, there's a tier to those.
Right.
One fan group is better than the other. I know there's overlap, but one fan group's better than the other.
I mean, I
So
think it's pretty obvious.
I
This
might
is
be
the
thinking of
this is the
well-read.
cool kids of the well-read.
Right. I might be thinking of well-read fans who were like, why would you say that? And I was like, why would I say that people are doing this? Because people are you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
like I did it like Trump. Like, well, you know, people are saying. It's like, no, I was just saying this anyway. I feel like during that discourse, I said, I do think she's aware of her own mythos, but that wasn't even an argument defending her. That was really more of an accusation of like, I do think she's pretty aware, or has tried to be throughout her career, of her own mythos, which is why part of why the mythos is so, I don't know, clear. Because you gotta acknowledge that whatever is the truth, people have a certain idea about her, and whether whoever you blame that on or give credit to that for or whatever, that's impressive. It's impressive that a lot of people think similar things about a person that famous. When you throw up someone else that famous like Drake, you're going to get 7 different answers. I'll say this. Well, we don't even really have to rehash like our deal. For me, I'm saying rest in peace to, for me, I would say one of the 3 or 4 most talented artists in Appalachian history. For me, definitely the most famous, definitely someone who has tried to create good and joy in the world, even if it was just to make $1. I don't think it was, but whatever. And the only thing I will say is I do feel like this accent, some of this it's hard not to put a little on her, the hair, the makeup, the boobs, but like she was going to get cartoonified no matter
Anyway.
what.
So she'd
We
rather
all,
cartoonify herself. I mean,
right.
there's that interviewer, what's his name? That fucking bitch, Barbara Walters or something, was like, "You're talented. You don't have to do this. You don't have to blow. You don't have to do the makeup and the big hair, the fake hair, and all that other stuff." And then she was like, "I know I don't have to." And she's like, "The easiest thing you can do is be fashionable. That's what makes you look like everyone else." She's like, "I'd much rather look like myself. If I'm going to be looked at, I would like to be looked at on my terms." And so,
Yeah.
like, and she literally says that in an interview, and she talks about show business being a game, a joke, and a joke of money, and that she also likes to tell jokes. So I mean, it's just that, like, it's quite simply put, like, she's like, I'm playing a game that I'm forced to be playing.
He also, in doing that, redefined like Southern fashion and,
Uh,
glamour shots as an entity. If I say glamour shots, almost everyone knows what I'm talking about. That look, it comes from her. But all I was saying is knowing how our people do get cartoonified, I think that it's inevitable. Leaning into it was cool. Making great films was cool. Making great songs was cool. I'm 50-50 on Dollywood. I mean, I genuinely am. I think it's great that people got jobs there. She employs a lot of like autistic people and old people, and she employs a lot of people who like do leather works and shit like that barely exists anymore. And it's cool that there's a theme park, but I kind of hate theme parks. I'm 50-50 on Dollywood. I also think it's like a weird thing to do. Like Nate Land is coming in Nashville. That's a weird thing to do. It's a weird thing to do that. So I'm
yeah.
50-50 on that. But the music was so rad. The films are so rad. The interviews. And we were talking about this recently with like Vince Staples, like how much I wanted that album to be good because I like him so much. And it was, but I wanted it to be good too. Her interviews, especially back then, now she is out of or was out of touch. But I just, man, I love her, and it's weird for me and my personality type for something that has become very lift, laugh, lovey. Dolly t-shirts
Yeah.
everywhere in downtown Knoxville, even before she was the worst people in the world. You know what I mean? Supporting her or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I'm just trying not to let that get in the way of like how I feel about someone coming from where I come from and being great as an artist, like being great.
Well, that's the I think the other part of it too, which I don't even know that she did it intentionally, but it was also like, Southern was always associated with poor, and she was showing this really rad, like, version of like, no, we got cool shit too. I can dress up, I can do all of your fancy bullshit as well. In that, like, it was almost like a low key fuck you to how you've been looking at us this entire time too. um Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, growing up so poor and wanting, I mean, and she's talked about this, to be glamorous. Class was always, I think, at the forefront of everything she did, at least early in her career.
Mhm.
And I do think people got annoyed at her for sort of letting go of that or whatever, but that was inevitable. She went from being poor to being 100 millionaire. Anyway, rest in peace, Dolly Parton. And then, I mean, you guys say whatever you want to say. Then we got one more rest in peace to do, in my opinion.
We do. I mean, it has been a week of people dying. I don't know. I don't know if they have like a sheet of 80-year-old people that they're just fucking knocking off, but it seems like everyone from the age of 80 to 85 that was matter of influence has died this week. It's been, but so DJ, just I guess just clarify, why do you hate Dolly Parton?
DJ, you can be mad if you want, but that was expertly done. You at the very least you have to give it to her for the way she sold that.
Yeah. I mean, let's see, why do I hate her? Do you want specific? Like, I don't have those kind of emotions. I never had any type of. I don't have what Drew has. Of her. I'm trying to think of like what I don't like about her. If that's what you want to know specifically, is that what you want to know? Like what I contend with? Because like I will totally tell you that I like what I think should happen is that people should use the symbolism, kind of like a Joseph Campbell thing. You have the power of the myth now. You can wield it to show working class solidarity or whatever. You have that power. You can wield it in a way not to be divisive. You know what I mean? You have that. You could choose to use it however you wanted.
I agree with you. And I low key think in this old lady's brain, I think that she thought she was doing that when she did that song with Chris Rock. Like I think
Chris Rock.
Not Chris Rock. Sorry, Kid Rock. Sorry, my bad. I know, right? My bad.
No. I mean, it's possible. That's also possible. I thought that was something that came over my radar. But I mean, the whole album was awful. Do you think that she knew that the whole album was awful? I'm like, I don't think so.
No, but I'm not
what she was doing.
I'm not judging her by the album she put out at 78.
Do you want me to judge her? Is that what you're asking for?
Me?
Do you guys want to argue?
No, but you're acting like we started this, and we didn't.
Yeah, I said that I didn't have a take, and that y'all can go ahead and you apologize because I thought she is a brand, she is a symbol. I don't have any personal relationship to either
you didn't grow up with her?
The mythos, as much as anybody else.
With the mythos, because you're also in that area.
I was also kind of like, yeah, but it was also like kind of a joke. Big boobs, lady. My granny used to love Rhinestone, but that has more to do with my granny than it does her. It's my relationship with my granny. And also, it's like I don't have a relationship with Sylvester Stallone because of that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like that's weird. Do you know what I mean? Like I have a relationship with my granny. It was never a huge part of my identity or my cultural, what I would call my personal cultural heritage. You know what I'm saying? I respect it. You know what I'm saying? And all I was trying to say was that like I didn't want it to be disrespectful or fake. I didn't know, and also at the time of that, I did not know. I'm not on the Facebooks or any of that shit like that, dude, or the Twitters or anything. So I didn't know there was like all this turmoil out in the world. And like I didn't really realize it as what it was. I was just saying I would rather y'all do the thing and say y'all stuff and me just not say anything, and then y'all not come back at me with why did you say nothing? And then me, you know what I'm saying? But we can argue.
That's what you feel like you expressed?
That's exactly what I feel like I experienced. I say y'all can.
I won't say nothing bad. I could, all caps.
I could, yeah. I could, and I am. I'm allowing that right now. I'm trying to say something bad. I'm trying to say something bad. I'm trying
to do it if you want.
What am I not doing wrong? I'm trying to.
Nobody's trying to do anything wrong. You know what I'm taking a little umbrage with? Is you. I feel like you're acting like you were just like, oh, I'm good. And we were like, what's your fucking problem? And that's not what happened.
That is what happened. That's exactly what happened.
But but knowing that you feel that way, then no, that I don't. You don't want if you don't want to give the take, don't give the take, man.
No, I have to give it. Yeah, I don't really have that much emotional anything. I don't have except for like if you're gonna use or if you're gonna have that, use it to bring people together and have a uniting force. Don't be divisive about it.
Right.
And that's my only take on it. You know what I'm saying? I would rather not say anything personally unless, you know what I mean? This is what I mean. I don't get it, but that's okay. I don't have to get it.
Right.
Mhm.
The only other thing I take umbrage with is I do feel like, and this isn't even like an emotional or a personal thing. This is just like a academic, I guess, type thing. To me, it's like borderline objective. I know it's subjective, but it's borderline objective. You said like, well, you know, I don't have like a cultural relationship to Sylvester Stallone either. It's like that's not the comp, man.
No,
Like if
I
you
don't have a
look at the
culture
stats,
because of my
whether
Brandy.
anyone hold on, whether anyone
Brandy in
likes
this
her or
movie.
not, whether
Who
anyone
want
likes
Brandy in this movie?
right.
You talking about the movie Rhinestone specifically? Mhm.
But like I'm like it's fair that like that's your or anyone else's relationship to it. I'm just saying that if we're gonna talk about her or anyone who's like has a body of work, then like look at the body of work because it's so much more well-rounded and bigger than most people's. And I mean, I guess that's a good segue, I think, into Mr. Curry. Also, rest in peace, Tim Curry. Like, I it's like weirdly not tragic when someone 80 dies because there's no other option, right? Like living to 100 but then going crazy is a little, you know what I mean? It's like when Betty White died, we were all like, oh, but they were like, yeah, but that's what happens to 100-year-olds, you know? But I think with people like Dolly Parton, with people like Curry, sometimes you're like, oh, it is kind of tragic because people like that are so rare, people that gifted, I think.
Well,
And
gifted in a decent person, seemingly. So I feel like that combination
right.
is
But I'm just saying it's like there's nothing really to me super tragic about an 80-year-old dying. But I think it feels like tragedy when it's a celebrity who's very talented sometimes because it feels like tragedy of like, oh damn, like we're not getting that back. Like I remember when Leslie Jordan died. And I remember thinking, well, he was old, but then I also remember thinking, but like we're losing that. We're losing him doing that thing he does. You know what I mean? And it's so cool what he does. And Curry, they're like one of the original, like, I don't know, there's a thing in Hollywood now where Hollywood figured out like 15 years ago how much breadth British trained actors have. But like Curry was an OG of that, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, a dude who like, first of all, I didn't know this until like way later, was in rock bands and shit like that, was like a rock star who went actor and was better at the, to switch hats like that. I don't know a lot of people who genuinely do both things well. Um, and
Think of one.
yeah, but to also be able to sing a song about toxic waste and be so good at it. I mean, like Ferngully might have made me red, dog, because that song was so good. I was just like, like Oil and Grime seems pretty cool actually when you sing about it like that.
Shanna Man. Yeah. Somebody posted something of that entrance in Hedwig when he's coming down the elevator, tapping his heel.
Yeah.
Just like, and especially when you see him in like Home Alone, and you're like, how's that guy also that guy? What?
Yeah. There's another death too, and I think this connects to what DJ was saying earlier, and maybe this is where the common ground is also the narrator for Optimus Prime, the voice of Optimus Prime passed away, and I wasn't a Transformers kid, so this was a death of somebody who it wasn't such an integral part of my life. That's why I was curious, like if you grew up with her, if she was around, if that was like something that was being pumped in, especially again living where you're living, or being from where you're from, like that must have been around all the time. So for you to have not been affected by it at all, to me is interesting in that like there's another these are big characters, big mythos, that if you weren't even affected by, it's kind of like being a Greek that doesn't really fuck with the gods in this mythos allegory sense. Does that make sense, Deej?
Man, I guess so. I mean, I would say that like Pantera probably was like in my childhood, probably like as far as like the Southern what was going on, fucking Metallica's Master for like these things had much more of an effect on me in my life, in my surroundings. Like as far as what my parents listened to or like whatever, my mom was like really big on Amy Grant and Bonnie Raitt and shit like that. I mean, if you think about female women who were like in my mom's, like, you know what I'm saying? Cut. My dad was all about like Allman Brothers and Jimi Hendrix and fucking shit like that. It's not really a place for that specific person, although that specific person had a cultural uh was a cultural significance, and that was recognized, but it wasn't like a hollowed sense of identity that. And one thing that I really love, and I love about, you know, like with Drew and like and other people that I know, that their sincerity and their genuine affection for this person, you know, being able to see that vicariously is also, you know, very endearing, and more endearing to me than I would be on my to her than I would be on my own. You know what I mean? With just how my cynical way of looking at things.
Yeah, that's how you make me feel about Dimebag Daryl. Isn't that Pantera's dude who died? I thought that would be.
Yeah. But I don't feel any affection for
I
him.
know.
The
I was
music
kidding.
had, the music had, you know, Southern rap, dude. Like Southern hip hop has much more of an effect on me personally than probably any other type of music or any other person. Like,
100%.
There's no question about it.
100%. And then for me, and I don't think this is true for you too, but just to piggyback up, like the Drive-By Truckers mean way more to me than Dolly Parton. I think for me, it's like it's not. For a lot of people, it's like Dolly was good and she did the library, and she could have been
$400 million in books, I think.
Right. She could have been a billionaire, but she gave too much of her money away. And those people who lost their homes in the fire, it's been 8 years now. She paid their bills literally every month for the last 8 years. I think all that stuff's great, genuinely. But I don't think that I hold her where I hold her because of that. I think that helps, but where I hold her because I know where she came from, both culturally and geographically and economically. And that is inspiring to me in a way that, like, I believe Kendrick Lamar, maybe, for example, has a similar backstory, but I'm not going to get connected to it the same way.
Right.
And like, and that's my own mythos that I've like cast upon her or whatever.
Sure.
It's like, because like, it's not because Jolene is so good, but it has to be so good for me to feel this way.
Sure.
It's not because she gave so much money away, but she has to give that money away for me to feel this way. If she was a frigid bitch who just like died alone and didn't, you know, I wouldn't do it.
Sure.
It's those two things have to exist in the first place or whatever. And then on top of that, it's like that you were so fucking good for so long. And then again, DJ's right, bad at the end.
Bad at the end, yeah.
I've always found that inspiring. Again,
I think on an even macro level, because I don't have the connection y'all have with her. She's not from where I'm from. My introduction to Dolly Parton was 9 to 5, and that shit resonated with me because it was a representation of women being like, fuck you, I'm not taking this. And that, I mean, that speaks exponential volumes to somebody who's constantly being talked over. It was a short lady being talked over, all that other shit. It was rad. I used to watch that movie.
Then well, I thought you meant the song. So it was the song, co-wrote a musical?
The movie was, well, because I was a kid, you know, so the movie was the thing that, because my folks didn't listen to country, so I didn't have an in on that. Much like what DJ's talking about, I didn't have an in on that. But then when I was like, oh, this lady's cool, and not only that, but she was an attractive woman, which it was either like you were attractive and dumb at this. We're talking about 80s terms now. You were attractive and dumb, or you were like frumpy and smart. Like there was no. So here was this hot, smart, woman who wasn't a piece of shit, to me, not only is it she's the to talk about the mythos, she also counters the power corrupts absolutely. She is the exception to the rule that we found. If you want to talk about fucking hopium, DJ, it's that she created the belief that you could make it from nothing, achieve everything, and still not become one of them. And by one of them, I mean one of these people who hoard wealth, greed, all of those things. And this is as a person who casually enjoyed her.
Listen, I don't
That's
get
what it
into
was.
like the whole royalty type thing, the whole like
Mhm.
this thing, but like you could choose worse. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I think at the end of the day, I mean, that's really what matters. So if you're gonna have that power of that of the myth of that that whole symbolism, you know, you could choose to wield it, like regardless of what you're. Because like I've heard all kind of opinions about body image and stuff like that, all this other stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've heard it all. I've heard it
Yeah,
all,
sure.
and all of it has some bit of truth in it. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, at this point, you know, it's up to you. It's up to you to wield that power. And I think that that's important, and I think if anything, you should give her the grace to know that like that power was given to you by her to wield and to use. Do you know what I mean? And be appreciative of that. What?
Yes, I guess I'm confused. I don't know what you mean. The power to it wasn't to me specifically. I just meant in general.
Bro,
Because
she gave that power to you and everybody. Everybody listening right now. You have the power to wield that fucking symbol,
uh,
which is a powerful symbol. Which
mhm,
whether it was created by marketing teams and PR firms and like whoever created that, where or if it
mhm,
was just by her, whatever kind of takes that you want to have on that, you now have that symbol. You know what I mean? You now
yeah,
have that. You now have that flag to to wave. You know what I mean? And like, if nothing else, for class solidarity and like whatever, that you should, be thankful to have that flag. It's like it's so weird when people like are like, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, finish. It's so weird when people what?
Boy, they're like, oh, fucking Gandhi. Well, he fucking slept with kids, and it's like, okay, but like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Mother Teresa, she tortured a bunch of motherfuckers. You're like, okay, like I too, like enjoy like raining on a parade now and then, but like at this point in time, like you have a tool in your toolbox to use for unification, for unity, and
Mhm.
for these things. So like to use it in any other way.
Yeah.
Let me just say, for me personally, as a caveat, when it comes to fucking kids, I do have a line there. I understand what you mean, but like that one to me is like a real legacy breaker. But I know what you mean. Like
But it
it's
just
like
goes back
this
to what you were
weird
saying,
instinct
Drew.
sometimes to like try and steal a mythos from
Mm.
somebody. And I think what I've been trying to say since yesterday, and what I'm a fan of hers, first of all, especially because of the era she came from, there was less marketing and less, what are they called, focus groups and shit like that. It just occurred to me that most of that only ever comes from music. It just occurred to me that for whatever reason in America, music is the main place where we get that. I'm not saying that no one's ever achieved it in comedy or acting or something else, but it just occurred to me that like Prince, Beyonce, Bowie, these singular images that become a mythos and sort of a thing and a brand in and of itself. It's like always music. And what I was trying to express since yesterday, I'm a fan of the fact that a hillbilly did that. And
Mhm.
it's, as far as I know, the only hillbilly who's done that. Sturgill is probably the closest. There's obviously some Texas country folk, Johnny Cash. I don't know if Johnny was really a hillbilly, maybe. But anyway, I am forever grateful and impressed that she created that. And I know pretty much for a fact that she had a great hand in it, even if there were some marketing people involved. But just because of how much control she had over her career and how much she wrote. You know what I mean? Whether it be the musical and took part in the movie and then acted in it, you know what I mean? It's like that was just so impressive to me. And that's why I said, by the way, that she was Appalachian Bowie. All I meant was the mythos. And the mythos with the talent behind it in terms of is in the movie, did write the song, did create the melody, and it did have sex with Mick Jagger. And that's not true, I don't think. But I just appreciate the shit out of that. And then like Carmen said, and then it not like kind of come out that you were shitty to people. Because you've seen that a bunch. Not even like something awful like raping or sleeping with kids. Just a bunch
No, but the Ellen,
like kind of a dick.
Mm-hmm. So the fake, where you find out they're a fake.
Yeah.
Where you find out publicly they're a fake, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like cool. Anyway.
But I just meant it in the sense that, like you were talking about Kendrick, she represented somebody who could make it and wasn't like corrupted. Does that make sense? I felt like, honestly, I feel the same way. I think Tim Curry did a lot of the same thing as far as masculinity goes, because you saw this guy who was very, and like, I remember when I was young, people were like, isn't he? I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. He looks rad. That's all I could think about. It was like, Tim Curry would be was not fearful of being effeminate and thinking it was taking anything away from it in a masculine way, and it was sexy. It was like it was fucking cool in a way, because I at the time specifically, unless you're talking outside of music, I hadn't seen somebody do it, because I saw it, with the David Bowies and stuff like that, people playing with it, but it was always in music. It wasn't in movies and cartoons and stuff like that. So you have a person who's like cool with gender bending and cool with gay people and all that stuff, doing children's films, which if you talk about that in the context of now, it would be incredulous. You can't even have a drag queen read a book now.
Yeah, I think like the gap between Curry and Eddie Izzard is many years. I don't know how many. And like that was the cultural gap for me for seeing that as like a young kid.
Yeah.
Seeing what we used to call a transvestite.
Yeah, that's how I learned what those terms were. If it was from Eddie Izzard's Dress to Kill. Like I learned.
And that was like what, 15 years after Curry had already done Hedwig?
Yeah. And even longer after Rocky Horror, I think. So I mean, let me look up the dates to be accurate.
Real bummer all the way around for the drag community, man.
Truly. Truly.
Yeah, dude. Like, how many queer icons can they lose? You know?
Yeah, dude.
Fucking Curry, Dolly, Lindsey Graham. I mean, it's just really a struggle.
Dude, fucking Tim Curry was going through it though. I mean,
yeah,
really was in a gruesome way.
Yeah, and not quite as gruesome, but Dolly was going through it too. I'm like genuinely glad they're both not suffering.
Yeah, dude. It is one of those things too. Like once you reach such a high, and like even the last stuff, dude, it's like, does it really even matter? Like you've already reached a type of immortality that like is very, very rare, very, very rare for the human, existence. So again, it's like we wanted her to be a mummy. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking come on, man.
Oh, like. Honestly, it's impressive she didn't do anything worse than that song with Kid Rock.
It's
really impressive because, like, you need to leave the zeitgeist, or you become like, who's done it the best? On paper, Snoop Dogg, but if you're an actual fan of old Snoop Dogg, you got to have some problems with current Snoop Dogg.
Sure,
Snoop Dogg's probably done it the best on paper in terms of success, but like, how do you stay a massive brand throughout your life? You know, it's
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's
because he did Rocky Horror 1975, and then Eddie Izzard's Dress to Kill.
I'm gonna say 95.
1999.
Oh shit.
Okay, and then you just made me realize that Edwin and Rocky Horror aren't the same thing. And not
No,
that I
they're
thought
very
that.
different.
Not that I
Hedwig
thought
is
that, but just like that he.
a film in 2001,
Okay,
but it was a play before that.
right.
But yeah, but Rocky Horror's 1975.
That's what I meant. With Rocky Horror. So Rocky
No, I got what you
Horror.
meant.
What is that? 24 years.
Mhm.
I'm not suggesting no one was a transvestite on film for 24 years. I'm suggesting that in America, as someone who was like, alive in that time, I wasn't being shown it. I'm just saying Curry and what they did with that show was ahead of her time. I just think that's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's what I'm saying. I think without him doing that, you don't get a lot of the cool things they have. You don't get people who were encouraged and empowered to
yeah.
be
Well, because he
loud.
was so good. It's so important that if you're going to do that stuff, that you be good. It's why I think it's okay to kind of hate like Jelly Roll, even if he's never really quote unquote done anything to you or whatever. It's like, right, but you have to fucking be good if you're going to do something other than pop star. If you're going to like be a representative for something, like if then you better fucking be good.
I mean, this goes back to this is the Colin Kaepernick thing as well.
But he was good. The motherfucker went to a Super Bowl, and I'll defy any actual football fan who knows anything about it to say it any other way. And
But
also,
that was the
sports are
discourse.
different
It was
because
like
you
his
can put it in the
message.
start lineup. It's not
Mhm.
like music where it's like, hey, you cannot put this album out and you can just go make another one. Motherfucker, you know what I mean? Anyway,
So
Right.
let me ask you this: Did you guys see Jelly Roll on Kimmel?
I did not. But I heard that he made a Donald Trump see his toes joke.
Dude, he made a bunch of Trump jokes, man. But dude, let me tell you something. By far the worst shit I've ever seen in my life, dude. Dude, oh my god, dude. Oh my god. This is like by far like it was so cringe. Like I'm just cringing the whole fun. Like it's like so bad, dude. Like you cannot. It's so bad. Like and it just the sloppy the sloppyism of modern entertainment is just it's so does he are they moving him to be that or is it like is it there's this Nate Bargatze is not the Nate Jelly Roll uh is that the new and those are definitely
mean,
marketing
I don't think it's new because he's been there.
The new Dolly? What do you mean? The new what?
the new myth builder the building of the I mean
Well,
the
I
climb from
think-
like weird bizarre music thing to hosting Kimmel thing with like your bright white teeth and your fucking really fucking weird, dude.
I
Really
think
weird.
monoculture is
Also-
dead.
Huh?
I think monoculture is dead. So I don't know if there is going to be a person with that kind of myth, although Kendrick kind of has it.
I think
Well,
that's the
what
difference is the
happened-
authenticity. I think Jelly Roll's a poser. So at the end of the day, he to me never
Jelly Roll?
because
I don't
yeah.
think he's a poser.
I agree with DJ. He just isn't very the person that he makes music for is real. And he's their guy.
That's what I'm saying. Manufactured. I think Dolly Parton was making music because she loved music and wanted to make it, and she had something inside of her.
Manufactured, I think it's bad, and I think there's a difference.
Yeah,
I think
for
there's
sure.
a huge difference. Does that make sense, Carmen? What I'm saying, like,
So
I think he's
like you
bad.
think he's genuine, but you think it's terrible the way he's
Genuine is-
expressing it.
Genuine is not.
That's
I think
yeah.
So, like I
sincere.
think Dolly Parton is
How about that?
genuine.
How
I
about
think
that
Tim
word,
Curry is
Carmen?
genuine. What?
How about sincere?
You think he's sincere?
Mostly, yeah. And anytime he's not, it's because I think he has like a sincere goal in mind. Like I think he loves comedy because he's been going to Zany's on and off now for the better part of a decade. So
Mhm.
like he wants to be funny. Now he's not. But do you understand what I'm saying? It's not like they were like, "You're famous. You want to do Kimmel?" It was like, "I'm obsessed with comedy." One of the first videos he ever did before he broke was with Andrew Schultz. So that's what I mean. It's like it's sincere, but we don't have to shut it down. Let's table the Jelly Roll. Let's table the Jelly Roll for a second, guys.
All right. All Okay.
Sorry, I just think that's such a funny sentence. Let's table the jelly. I think that
Let's circle back the okay.
I think that mythos as like a singular thing is going to be harder as our culture gets more and more fractured into our own individualized algorithms.
Yeah.
I think that if you like are tired of Jelly Roll, then just change your algorithm, dog. You can do that now. It's almost like millennials were raised where when we were real young, there were only a few channels. We just never got over how you could just change the goddamn channel. And because of that, I think sloppulism is in, but I just don't know if anyone will ever reach those heights. They may, but the thing that might make them though, and this is what's interesting, is like AI and the algorithm. You know, like as it was at one point like kind of chaotic and random, and now it's very clear that they have a lot more control over it. This is weird. This is before she died and before we had this conversation. I was at the park 2-3 days ago, and this woman was talking about using her AI to ask what day was best to go to Dollywood. That's what people are using AI for. Well, if you know that and you own the AI, you can tell them what's best for you.
Yeah.
And we might circle back to a monoculture. And that's like dark. Because if we end up in an algorithm monoculture, that's fucking dark. But right now, to answer DJ's question, yeah, Nate's the closest thing we'll get. We'll get a Leanne Morgan, you know what I mean? But I don't think we'll have someone with the... I mean, even Kendrick, we keep talking about him and bringing him up, but like, I would say, if you say, all right, hip-hop fans, here's the number, I'd say 55 to 60% of them do not fuck with him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just that the ones who fuck with him so hard, it feels like everyone loves him. Yeah. Same thing with Bargatze, same thing with Leanne Morgan. A lot of people don't listen to Leanne Morgan. We're aware of her. We know she's funny. My mom would stab both of you if Leanne Morgan asked her to.
Yeah.
But not as many people feel that way about Leanne as they did Dolly. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Sure. I mean, there's not, I mean, you have, I guess what I'm saying is like, I guess what I'm asking, and you're giving a great answer. But more specifically, like, I don't say that there could be another Dolly. Like there's not going to be that. There's not going to be another Michael Jackson. There's not going to be another fucking Bruce Springsteen. Like, who, these people, and I don't know what level of Bruce Springsteen, I don't know, I guess, yeah, he's definitely in that, for sure.
Motherfuckers are paying $10,000 to go see a Broadway show, crying and shit. And I've said this about Bruce before. You know, that's a rich kid who cosplayed as working class, but you can do worse shit with your art.
Well, yes, of course.
True.
Yes, I agree. I mean, yeah,
that's my criticism of him.
Like you could have worse idols. You could have worse people to look up to, for sure.
But there is something to be said about them unify, because I remember I was looking at travel videos, and people are already making fun of seeing the same people on their vacation because they both used AI to ask them what they should do on their vacation. So now you have these people who are relying on this thing to make these kind of picking these things out. Yeah, and so then they're like, oh, the same people are going. Oh, everybody that uses AI is going to the same places. They're not branching out. They're not exploring. They're just doing whatever daddy data says to do.
I am working on a theory that all this is that without a monoculture, it's so fucking pointless to be the biggest business, to have all the money or whatever, because you can't control it. That the internet fracturing everybody and showing you new artists and showing you new ways to shop and showing you new couches and whatever it is actually a nightmare for big business. And that part of what AI is just an attempt to return to monoculture. We talk about the religious aspect of it. We talk about the control and the war, and we talk about the bunkers and the terraforming, and all that's part of it. But there's a big part of me that's like, no, they just want us all eating the same slop. They want you to stay home, and they want to sell you the same 5 things. They want all 5 of you to go to the same place on vacation. And they want to get back to having a Dolly Parton instead of 5 Dolly Partons or 10 Dolly Partons. And I think
they have that with the Taylor Swift. I feel like they're I mean, that's a cult following right there.
That's over, dude. That's so over.
Yeah.
No
So
one.
here's the
There are so few people left in the world who would kill for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
8 years ago, you could throw a rock and hit one of them, and after you did, if you said I'm a Swift fan, she'd forgive you for hitting her with a rock.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but it wouldn't. She would have maintained it more if she would have given $400 million away for people to read. She
Oh,
would have
sure.
given. She would have maintained it longer. Again, if she stayed a person, that's the whole thing. Is we get to watch somebody achieve a level of greatness and maintain their humanity. That is what Tim Curry did. That is what Dolly Parton did. Like that is to me what the monolith is. That's the hopium. That's the all of that is oh shit, rich people can still be people too. Really rich people can still act like people too. I mean,
think that would have been possible. I think that's one of the things the Bible got right. Be easier to pass a camel through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. Now, I agree. Some people, there are some exceptions, but I think it's really hard. And I think I could be wrong.
but that's what I'm saying. These are those weird exceptions
I bet if you look at, well, there's greatness and then there's like power and money. Tim Curry was great, but I don't think he had enough power and money to be absolutely corrupted the way that some other people could have. You know what I'm saying?
It's fair.
But I think we're boomeranging back to a monoculture. That's the goal anyway. That's one of
So
their
you think-
goals, in my opinion.
So you're saying we're being socially engineered to go back to like, there's really only 4 channels. You fucking go to the really freedom cities, because it's really crazy that you say this, because Whitney Webb is coming out with her because I think you're right.
Yes.
Also,
We finally got noited. It took us 52 minutes to get noited. A new
I'm actually
record.
proud of us for
You know
waiting
what?
this long.
You know what the most
I thought it was going to happen sooner.
The most impressive thing Dolly Parton ever did was Jolene. The second most impressive is what she just did to this podcast. 52 minutes before and it was me. I'm not gonna blame DJ. I don't want anyone to say I'm blaming DJ. I brought us to Noid. Go ahead, DJ.
well, no, it goes back to like she's bringing it back to like, you remember when like during Biden's term they brought Larry Fink up to the G7 and he was like pitching to them this like whole privatization of like all this stuff and like you know what I mean? They were pitching it to the Europeans.
Let me give some context real quick for people who aren't as noted. Larry Fink is the head of, is it not Palantir, is it?
BlackRock.
No,
BlackRock. Also, he was formerly in the CIA, and his company was founded literally by the CIA. The entire backstory of that company is surveillance and security, whether it be like on the web or putting cameras up in your community. The privatization of it was a literal, this is not being annoyed, this is not being a conspiracy theorist, was a literal reaction to the constitutional protections that were brought about after 9/11 when they said, we want to surveil everyone. And some people in the government who were decent were like, you're not allowed to do that, it's against the Constitution. And they said, well, can a private company do it? And they said, yeah, I guess technically a private company could do it. So that is what Larry Fink was pitching to the EU. Privatize all this stuff, and then you have a lot less oversight, and the people who vote for democracy can't vote what you're doing out because you're a private company. No one gets a vote. Sorry. Go ahead, DJ.
Well, and the theory, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, they're doing it in third world countries right now." And it's like, nah, dude, they've been experimenting here on us. Look at Ohio, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is like where this is like going. And I think you're right that it is to create the monoculture, the fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You will be educated on what we want you to be educated for. You're not going to see anything outside of that. You're going to believe and see and have this, and this is what you're going to have. There's a baseline. I mean, they're taking over the food industry, the whole fucking thing, dude. And it's happening, and that we were the entire time the test subjects for all this, not DR Congo, not fucking Somaliland. It was us the entire time. Our government experimenting on us.
Well,
I mean, I think that's what the Patriot Act started, right?
Yes.
Post 9/11, the Patriot Act was like, oh, okay, we could take everybody's rights and over time, we don't have to roll it back. We don't have to roll it back even after the danger, the alleged danger.
Really good, like Reddit internet type theory of like when historians look at the fall of the American Empire, whatever day we think it is, like when you look outside and there's like a tank, whatever day you think it is, historians will say that the beginning of it was that, the Patriot Act. Because of what you're describing. The only other thing I'll say is, for me, this isn't a conspiracy. This isn't, there's no like, it's not even Larry Ellison in a room, especially when we're talking about like the entertainment industry and how it has intertwined with social media. For me, it's just capitalism. Yeah. When everyone watched Johnny Carson, we made $1 billion because we had every eye in America. We had nothing to compete with, and then we could sell them whatever the highest bidder wanted us to sell them. So it wasn't like this grand conspiracy to sell soap. It was that the soap company paid the most money to the people who had figured out how to get the most eyes. I think it's like, for Ellison, it is very dark. It is very 1984. But for like Zuckerberg, it's just literally like money and power. Like it's like no, there's no like super duper end game to like make your kids gay, or like put everyone in a prison camp. It's like, no, I'm trying to figure out how to own your attention. And so like the best way to do that is to make you think you like this person.
I mean, that's why he just got fined $568 million, because they're like, yeah, sexual predators are using this, but that ain't got shit to do with me. They still click on the ads. I don't give a shit about who's watching or how they're using the platform, as long as they're using it.
100%. I've talked about this on Well Read before. Me and Trey and Corey talked about it. When he had to go before Congress that first time to talk about the Cambridge Analytica bullshit, Well Read started selling about 40% less tickets the next day after he got subpoenaed. What happened was they had figured out an ad technique so precise that you could give them money. And by the way, it was fucking worth it. You could say, hey, do you know who might like us? Can you tell them we're going to be in their city? And it was so fucking good, which I'm for, until they go, right, you're for that. Until it's a political ad. And it's not an honest political ad. Here's how fucked up the Facebook ads got. Let's say my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, they're both very conservative people. Let's say that there is a primary coming up, though. And in the Republican primary, they're going to vote for different candidates. Now, they're going to vote Republican no matter who wins this primary. But they're going to vote for different Republican candidates in the primary. Facebook would send them different ads that said different things for the same candidate, so they'd vote for the same candidate. Now, Facebook didn't plan that. Facebook wasn't sitting in a room being like, watch us control these people. It just let somebody else do that because it gave them money. That's what I'm getting at with Jelly Roll. That's what I'm getting at with like the monoculture bullshit. They're going, we got to figure out how to get everyone watching the same thing again. All right, give us the most amount of money and we'll push it through the goddamn algorithm.
I mean, I think that's what's happening with Marvel, the Marvel stuff. Like now, the it used to be like product placement. Now it's like overt advertising within a film, like where it's just like, okay, how many times you gonna show me this motherfucker's watch? How many times you know
how to sell it stuff, and so they're trying to get back to where they could, and that's related to Larry Ellison and Palantir. But I don't see it personally as like a big connected conspiracy as much as it's just like everyone, whether they're trying to sell us something or like surveil us and be in power, wants to control us. They want to know what we're looking, what we're thinking. Best way to do that is make us all think the same shit, man.
Dude, it's so crazy because like all week long I've been watching the Robot Olympics in China, and dude, how they've got it going on, what they're doing right now with their technology is so fundamentally different and so fundamentally better. And that's why their shit is so much better, because of the way that they're doing it and how fast it's fucking learning, and like how much money the government's not like, there is state-owned companies and stuff like that. There are, but in China, if you fuck over the public, you're gonna get fucking murdered. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if something stayed owner. Anyways, the only problem they have, which a side note, right, Bess, is that their robot fighting league is called the Ultimate Robot Knockout League, Urkel. Like, it's bad. Like, they got to change that up. Like, you can't have Urkel as your robot fighter. Like, it's just not.
Agree to disagree?
Okay, I see your point too. Like, I never thought, like, when you looked at me like that, I was like, okay, you're right.
I was like, no, he's a nerd.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
Dude,
right.
He was going to invent time travel, but the fucking government wouldn't give him any plutonium.
Right. Yep, that is true. But dude, it's crazy, dude. It's how they're doing it, how they're learning, how they're teaching the robots, what they're teaching. Like, dude, it's so more advanced and more like, and there's way more restrictions and regulations on them, and they're able to do these things that they're doing with like the leagues where everybody comes out in cosplay and they watch the robots do all this stuff, and like they're having these world tournaments, and they're and then by the first day and the last day, what they've learned throughout that week is it's like day and night, dude, and they're able to do this like, and they're getting money for sponsors, they're getting money for TV times, they're getting ad money. Like, this money is like, it's not like how the government's just giving $1 trillion to a fucking, do you know what I mean, to like OpenAI, where they're all just kind of sharing the same money but making no profits. They're building a profit. They're building brands out there with their robotics, and it's
The difference is they're reinvesting in their own shit. That's not happening
well,
here.
and
Everything that's getting invested is all going to the same four people.
yeah.
On
dude.
that note, we got to go soonish. I got to
Yeah.
go. I've got my air off because of what I'm doing in my kitchen, and it's so hot in here. I just want to, on that note, here is what's gravy for me. Corbin Trent. Had to look up his name because I fucked it up earlier. Corbin Trent is a guy I've been starting to follow on social media. He worked with AOC and he worked with Bernie. And the only national political platform that has made any sense to me, and this relates to what I was saying 2 weeks ago in terms of like the hope that I have for the future of America. And it's related to what you just said, Carmen, in terms of reinvesting it. Everything this dude says is correct. Everything I've seen him put on his page, it's finite. Part of the reason he's always right is he stays in his lane. Everything I've seen him put out is correct about how the only way we're going to land in some capacity with like a future for our children and a country that we recognize, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is what you're talking about. Like taking nationalized approaches to roads, infrastructure, healthcare, and he's doing it in a way. He goes on Fox and is like he says to them, I don't know if this is true, maybe he's just good at pitching, but he's like, I'm not an anti-capitalist, I'm not an anti-market guy. I'm saying that the market doesn't have an answer for how do we build a good fucking road, and it doesn't. It does not have an answer for that. It never has. The answer for someone who's going to die at 70 is to kill them if you ask the market. If it's going to cost $400,000 to save them and they're only going to make 20 grand for the rest of their life. So anyway, he is my gravy baby today. Corbin Trent from East Tennessee.
Corbin Trent, yeah, could I saw that coming.
Maybe he'll be our new Dolly.
I
Maybe
don't
he could
think
be a
he
new
has the
monolith.
charisma. He is handsome though. Maybe
Sometimes
we'll have
it
him
all-
on.
all
I've
it
been
is
messaging with him. Maybe we'll have him on.
That'd be cool.
Well, it
As,
would be cool. I think it'd be cool if he'd be up for it. I would warn him I'm going to do this. I'd be like, hey, convince me not to become a militant anarchist. Go. Convince me to have faith in any nationalized party. Go. Well, that's my gravy, baby.
Nice. And you have a new humble abode. That should also be gravy.
It should be,
Your roles
Carmen.
have changed.
I tell you what, it should be. I'll give you guys a wallet. For people who do listen to both podcasts, you heard me say the other day, they asked me, Drew, where are you going to be? And I said, in a fucking pine box if I don't get this goddamn move finished because I'm going to eat a bullet. But that was a joke. That was a bit. Pretty good.
Pretty good, dude.
I'm close.
Nice. Well, make sure you guys are in the Discord so you can discuss the things that we talked about today on the episode, and patreon.com/gravybabypod. Hopefully you'll have some stuff on the walls next time we see you or talk to you.
Oh yeah.
Excited about it. It's gonna be rad. Bye, y'all.
You could stick a whole ribeye in one of your back pockets. Like,